Hi everyone, and good evening. I know it's getting really late for you that are back out on the East Coast, you night owls, you. Good to see you all. So, just want to talk to you tonight. We're going to do a mini reading for next week, and we're going to have a brief chat about Transformational Tuesdays, or Transformation Tuesdays, and a free giveaway. So, just a couple of housekeeping things. Here's my tea, and it actually has a lid that comes with this. So this is Murchie's Orange Pico tea. Lovely tea for later in the day. Now, my son likes the CBC blend, and it's a black tea with a hint of jasmine, I believe, in it. Anyways, now, if you're watching this on Tea and Transformation, can you please like the page and maybe share it with a couple of friends if you like what you're hearing? If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. You can hit the notifications, and that'll let you know when I post a new video, and like this video. And you'll also see down in the information at the bottom is the link to my Instagram feed and my Twitter feed, and you're welcome to follow along, because I do post a variety of different things in there. So, that would be really great, and I would certainly appreciate all the support. Now, on to the reading. Things have changed for us. I'm just going to take a sip here, excuse me. All right, so the last few readings, what we've been talking about, it's this whole transformational change, that we're in a time where there's a catalyst that is driving us towards change, that taking us out of our comfort zones, because things have just been so up in the air everywhere. I mean, from Brexit to Trump to Kinder Morgan and pipelines. I mean, it's really just all out there. So what are we going to do? And we have for our first card, a blessing card. It's the Six of Cups. Now, the Six of Cups tells us things have changed. And there's a part of us that's looking at the past as sort of, the good old days. And I got to say, remember, the good old days weren't all that good. But I think we're sort of talking about the situation that we've seen developing in the world in the last year. And we certainly have seen that divide has widened between middle class and poor working people, and disadvantaged people, and the extremely wealthy people, and that gap is widening. So I think that we're sort of looking at what life was like before we either knew that gap was there, or before we started taking these obscene, or watching these obscene bonuses to CEOs and to management and the rest of the company being let go in a way. I think what I'm trying to say is that I think I'm tired of seeing business plans where a company counts on paying their workers poverty wages in order to make the business plan work. So, we're all looking at the past. This card is saying, forget the past. Acknowledge the past and let it go. Because if we don't let that go, we don't have a way of moving forward. And once we let that go, and that emotion has gone, what we are able to do is gather our energies together in order to move forward, to come up with a plan, to strategize. So then the second cup that I pulled, which is the challenge, and I think it's an interesting challenge, is the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups embodies female leadership. And it tells us that if we want to have, leadership in our life, that we need to look at the women in our life. We need to look to the women in our life. That together, collectively, as we come together and collectively work together, that it is female leadership. It is the leadership of women that is going to move us forward. And that's where we need to be looking these days. Clearly, I mean, if you've been watching news feeds at all, and I mean, I watch them all day long because I'm just a news junkie, but it's like, other than Rachel Maddow and Power and Politics here in Canada, I mean, we actually have more female broadcasters at the top end of the news genre than we do in the U.S. or even in England. But it's like, we want to move away from men always being the leaders here. So that means that as women, we have to step up. Now, the final card that I pulled was, what was it? It was the Star reversed. So what the Star is all about is the Star is saying it is time to stop looking at the forest, to move away from bemoaning about how things are and feeling helpless about it, and to move away from an overview of the forest and get down to the trees and start strategizing, coming up with plans, figuring out what we're going to do. We've got to let go of the past. We've done our work, we've cleared what we need to do, and now what we need to do is start strategizing and coming up with a plan. And, all of the really great things that have been happening, I think there was a march today for First Nations people in the U.S. There's a science march coming up. I'm sure there's going to be huge stuff come Earth Day. The Women's March. I mean, what we're seeing is, and all of these things are not top down. They're coming from the ground up. And it's a very organic process. So it means anybody can come in and play. Anybody can get together with a few friends and strategize a movement. We have social media. We can get the word out. We can keep this going, and we can bring around a transformation of our society. Remember, it won't happen quickly. We have a lot of hearts and minds to win over, and not everybody thinks diversity and openness is the way to go. So we need to strategize, and it may be small steps, but it is forward movement. And remember, even when you fall down, you're still moving forward. So that's what I have to say tonight is that we've done deep work over the last month. Let's take all that deep work. Let the past go. Let's not live there, because, the past is done. You don't want to be looking at the past unless that's the direction you're going in. So let's move forward. Let's strategize. Let's look to women leadership. And for all of my female friends out there and all of you strong and powerful and creative women that I have the honor of having in my life, time to get out there and start doing it again. And look at me, I'm 63 years old. We were doing this back in the 60s, for crying out loud. And again, it's just an ongoing thing. We always have to stay atop and ahead of the movement. Remember, what rights we have won can be written away with a pen and a piece of paper in the middle of the night. So, to all my wonderful female friends, let's strategize. Let's move forward. Let's take the best of what we want to do and get it out there and have it play. Okay? So that's it. Oh, Transformation Tuesday. This is the video. This is the video that you share, whether you're watching it on Facebook or you're watching it on YouTube. Share this video, subscribe or like the page, and tag a couple of people if you're on Facebook with this. And between now and the end of the day on Tuesday, so Wednesday morning, I'm going to write out all the names, and I'm going to stick them into a good old Canadian toque, and I'm going to pull out a name, and that person will get a private reading with me. And we will use Facebook video. Thank God for Facebook. All right, people, have a wonderful weekend. I think spring is here. The clocks change this weekend, so remember, we're going to spring forward, and we're off to daylight savings time. It's a wonderful time. I am so thankful for all of you who are in my life. You make a difference for me every day. Let's change the world now, okay? All right, talk to you all soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.